So welcome everyone, welcome to the session on pain today. And today it's a prayer, more of a prayer, that let us discover and rediscover what is pain here to tell us, what is the message that pain has to give us. And all of us have some kind of some or the other kind of pain in our lives. So today I would like to first begin with asking you, requesting you all to get in touch with your own pain that you have been through. Maybe you are going through it. It may be physical pain, it may be emotional pain, whatever. It may be suffering. And I would like to invoke you to connect with the pain and share a bit about it. How have you been going through pain? What do you think why pain is there? What is the reason of pain's existence on earth? Because whenever we see, we see all the people have some or the other kind of pain. No one is, grass is always greener on the other side. It's so we think that some of us have less pain and some have more, but it's always, shades of gray. So all of us have been gifted, if I can say, with some or the other kind of pain in our lives. So just take a moment, take a pause and share in the chat window. I'll be reading the comments out, reading the statements out. And if you are wanting, then you are also welcome to unmute and share your comments or sharings, whatever you have to share. Yeah, just take your time, pause for a moment and share, please. Okay, so I'll begin to read your sharings. Ruchika is saying, I think when we expect something and then the expectations are not completed, then the pain begins. Beautiful observation, Ruchika. But the expectations are good or not, I don't know. Great. Let us see if we can discover that today. Birenji is saying, it is probably a wake up call to change our priorities, our ways of thinking, and our ways of life. Beautiful. Yeah, yes, thanks, Birenji. Thanks, Ruchika.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Reggie, now it's clear. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say that pain is an inevitable part of life.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it because it is one of the factors that fuel our growth in every possible way. So, because there's no escaping it, it's best to accept what comes on the way. And I think the best way to overcome, like you've been also saying, is to kind of stay connected within yourself, hopefully with the divine, and just try to endure it. Because if the connection is strong enough, then that journey through the pain is easier. And also sometimes it just doesn't last that long because you don't prolong it. It just lasts as long as it needs to last, and then you're able to pull through.
Yeah. So what you are saying is to have an attitude of endurance towards the pain, right? And have a right attitude towards it. Yeah.
Right, because everybody is going to face it at some point.
Right. Great,
Of
beautiful.
our journey.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. So Nandini is sharing, I have experienced a lot of physical pain in my life. It may lead to depression. Yes, Nandini, many a times it does lead to depression. Hard to endure and overcome. Yes, physical pain is really a big challenge in front of us mortal beings who are mostly living in the bodies. Actually, not even living in the bodies, we are mostly living in the thoughts, as we'll discover very soon. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. So Preeti is saying pain comes for a learning. It's how we take it, the attitude towards it. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is not. Right. So if I am kind of, going through pain, it is a fact that it is there, but then I may or may not suffer owing to it. Beautiful. So Taru shares, when I was young, I once heard that you wake up only when you have had a bad dream, else you will keep sleeping through your life. That stayed with me as I really wanted to wake up to the reason of my existence. And now, after having my own shares of deep pain, I feel pain is like a portal that takes me to places where without pain I could never have reached on my own. Beautiful. It is humbling and gratifying. Yes, yes. So it's really both painful and beautiful to experience deep pain. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Taru. Yeah. So just sharing what Aradhana ji has to share. She shares that when my younger daughter was born, after about 8 to 9 months, she was diagnosed with multiple food allergies. Pretty much everything we could think of, those were the times of intense pain. For us, as we did not know what to feed her and how to move ahead. But yes, that made us realize that something nice would come out of it. Very true. We all turn into eating healthy. When we look at our daughter, she teaches us every day to accept the life, whatever it is offering us. How beautiful. The patience and calmness which we see on her face, where she sees other people eating, knowing that she can't have any of those, everyday lesson for us. So beautiful. Yes, Aradhana ji. As Taru shared, it's painful and beautiful at the same time. So really beautiful. So let us today expand and extrapolate on these perspectives which you have already shared so beautifully. And if I can say, they're all going in the right direction. Because pain is, as all of you shared, it is inevitable. We cannot escape it. No matter how many years I may try to escape it, I cannot escape it. So why not face it in full faith and surrender, and see what it has to tell us. So today I'll be sharing a few things from Kabir ji's dohas, and also a few beautiful deep teachings from Sri Aurobindo and the mother, who have shared really extensively on pain. And based on that also, we are doing this course on pain and suffering, which is going on at the moment. So let us explore. Before that, I would like to share, a friend was sharing with me, we were walking in the morning and she was sharing something that when you have to revive somebody, the heart has to be revived. So you have to really put a lot of pressure on the rib cage. And actually, the good doctors, for example, who are doing the post-mortem, they would easily tell whether the CPR or whether the exercise was really done well or not. How do they tell it? They tell it, if the rib cage is broken apart, then we were able to reach the heart. If the pressure was not enough, if the strength of the blow was not enough to break the rib cage, then we were not able to reach the heart. So this is how our lives become. We grow up after being conditioned for so many years. We cage ourselves in many cages. We don't even realize how many cages we cage ourselves in, and the heart suffocates in the cage. And then pain comes, because pain shatters us. Pain has the intensity to break us. Suffering also comes, and this pain is the one that breaks that cage of the ego around my heart. Kabir says, ऐसा ऐसा किवाड़ हिवड़े पे जड़िया. अपने हृदय पे हमने ऐसा ऐसा ताला मारा हुआ है, ऐसा ऐसा दरवाजा बंद किया हुआ है. गुरु बिना ताला कौन खोले? अब गुरु ही तो बताता है ना हमें, अच्छे वर्ड्स ही तो बताते हैं कि पेन को कैसे लिया जाए. Right? How to take when suffering is there in the life, how to go about it, how to use its intensity to open my heart. For the very purpose of the pain is to open my heart. There is no some cruel God, in this universe who wants to break us and shatter us apart. Not at all. There is some really kind, if I can say kind universe, which tries so badly, which tries so hard to break our cage. Now look at the blows we have been getting on our ego, look at our lives, full of the blows and slaps and thappads of all kind. but we are really, if I can say, dog's tail, hard to be straightened. And that is the necessity of repeated blows, repeated, one after the other. The marriage fails, the other relationship fails, the office does not work, health does not work well, one after the other blows, and on the face value it may appear that how can things be so cruel, where am I going wrong? The thing is, I itself is wrong. The time of ego is gone, the time of divine has come. This I-ness itself is the biggest wrong that can be done to our human existence. I know what to do with my health. I know what to do with my life. And then we keep on failing and failing and failing and not realizing that universe wants to tell us something. Why not give it a heed? So it's beautiful that pain is present in our lives because it is there as a friend. It wants to break the cage apart. It wants the best of us, our highest possibility, our divine possibility. Light is hiding inside that cage, poor suffocating inside the cage. So now it's a high time for all of us who have lived, 20, 30 pretty good years, maybe even more. Now is it not a good time to realize that, let go of the ego. Let the divine shine through. I don't know the purpose of my life. Let me find it out. I don't know how to have a good health. Let me find it out. Because by finding it out, by going in search for it, one kind of, I am making a elan that I don't know and I want to know. There is something that is hidden from me. What is that something which is hidden from me? Because all my preconceived ideas, notions have failed. I have not been keeping up well. So it's beautiful to come down on our knees, because only when the ego comes down on the knees, owing to multiple repeated exposures to pain and suffering, only then the ego is ready to surrender. Surrender to its own divine essence. There is no one else to surrender to. Its ego's highest possibility. The highest possibility of the ego is to merge itself in the divine essence. And that is where pain hints us at. That is where our deep, deep sorrow after losing a loved one, losing our health to diseases, breaking apart of relationships, so hard. It breaks the heart, but it does not break the heart. It breaks the cage that surrounds the heart. And it pains. Why does it pain? Because as Ruchika in the beginning shared, we are attached to it. There are expectations attached to my relationships. There are expectations. Why? For 20 years I have been studying about health, for example. All of that, was it a mockery I was making of myself? Why is the health still not keeping well? So we are attached to our own past. I am attached to my own future and past. And that is why it hurts. So it's okay to go through that hurt, because something really beautiful awaits us. It's okay to go through pain. It's okay to be not okay. It's okay to not know what to do with my life. And only then the search can begin. Right? So let me just begin with a few dohas, Kabir dohas, and then I'll take you through a few lines from Sri Aurobindo and the mother, which tell us how to go through pain, how to really endure pain, and how to get the best out of it. It is there as a signal in front of us. How to read that signal, how to decode that signal, right? Now that it's already there. So Kabir says, सुखिया ढूंढत मैं फिरूं, सुखिया मिले न कोई, जाके आगे दुख कहूं, पहले उठे और रोए. So Kabir is saying, मैं बहुत ढूंढा कि कोई तो मिल जाए जो सुखी हो, नहीं मिल रहा, सुखिया मिले ना कोई. जाके आगे दुख कहूं, और जिसके भी आगे मैं दर्द की एक दो बातें शुरू करता हूं, जिसके भी आगे मैं पेन की कोई एक आध बात शुरू करता हूं, वो अपना दुखड़ा उसी समय रोना शुरू कर देता है, पहले उठे और रोए. So unique problems, we look at your in front of you maybe few buildings, a few houses. Each and every person has their own world of pain, a world of past that they are carrying, full of pain and suffering. And each story is unique. Each ego thinks that my story is so special. Yet they're all same at the same time. Because they're all emerging only for one thing. They're emerging out of the ego, and once the ego gets dissolved, the need of pain is not there then. Further, Kabir says, जादिन ये जीव जन्मिया कबहू न पाया सुख, डाल डाल मैं फिरा पत्ते पत्ते दुख. So Kabir is saying, जब से इस जीव का जन्म हुआ है, तब से इसने सुख कभी नहीं पाया. Temporary pleasures we all go through, but the real anand, the real sukh, a never-ending sukh, we never got that. It was all a mixture of pain and sorrow, along with a little bit of pleasure. Dal dal main fira, patte patte dukh. So Kabir is saying the pain and suffering is throughout the globe. One thing that connects us is pain and suffering. No matter if I may be from any other culture, pain will be there, suffering will be there, because the human ego is there, and the ego has to merge in the divine. That is the purpose. So it will be there. Raja dukhi, sannyasi dukhi, amir dukhi, rank dukhi, kahe Kabir ye sab dukhi, sukhi sant man jeet. So Kabir कह रहे हैं कि मैंने तो राजा को भी दुखी देखा. सो जिसको आप समझते हैं उसके पास बहुत कुछ है. हाँ, राजा को भी मैंने दुखी देखा, मैंने तो सन्यासी को भी दुखी देखा. हमें लगता है वो स्पिरिचुअल हो गया, उस बंदे में दुख नहीं है, उधर भी दुख देखा. अमीर दुखी और रंक दुखी. रंक मीन्स गरीब, वन हु इज पुअर. कहे कबीर यह सब दुखी, सुखी संत मन जीत. सिर्फ एक जन सुख में देखा मैंने, संत जिसने अपने मन को जीत लिया है. Now the mind has become a servant of the divine. The mind has been silenced. The emptiness and stillness, the calm of the mind. There I saw real sukh, Kabir is saying. Rest everywhere I found just pain and sorrow. Now, Kabir is talking about, how we remember divine or God when we are really in painful situations, challenging situations. दुख में सुमिरन सब करें, सुख में करे ना कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे का होए. So होता क्या है, whenever we all of us may have realized, whenever a big challenge is thrown at us from the existence, we go within ourselves. We collect ourselves and go within ourselves. Usually when we are scattered around, when everything is hunky and dory on the surface, I'm scattered around. All my consciousness is scattered around throughout, thinking about this, that, indulging in this pleasure, that pleasure, scattered all around. But if the intensity of pain and the challenge in front of me, for example, related to my health, it's very strong. I cannot be scattered around. I have to collect myself and delve within myself. So this is the purpose of the pain. The purpose of the pain is collect yourself, collect yourself. Why is it asking to collect myself? Because when I collect myself, only then I have that sharp intensity to go in the depths of my being where this light is waiting for us to, kind of get connected with. The light awaits. The light of the divine waits for us throughout the existence. When will the attention be given to me? So the collection that happens, the intensity that we get, for example, I may be appearing for an exam and maybe I pass with really bright colors. Then I'll be celebrating, and you all know, how our celebrations are. We all know how scattered, we are not intense in our celebrations. They are just scattered all around. But when the failure happens, when I fail in that exam, when even after taking care of my health, I am not able to keep up with the health, then something in me settles down. It begins to contemplate. It begins to go deeper. What is the reason? What am I missing? And here begins the discovery of the true treasure within ourselves. If we can keep the intensity that way, if we can keep that intensity and not again get scattered all around. So this repeated pain is a beautiful invitation to go within. Dig the treasure. See, what do we do when we are digging the soil? We need something sharp, which has a little bit of sharp edges. Otherwise, you cannot go much deeper. How deeper can we go with a play toy, a play digger, which is made of plastic or something really not blunt. But when I have this iron digger with me, which is full of sharp intensity, very sharp edges, then I can think about going deeper. So the pain is giving me that intensity of going deeper, because there is something to be done there in the depths of my being. That we will find out very soon. कबीर हंसना दूर करो, रोने से करो चीत, बिन रोए क्यों पाइए प्रेम प्यारा मीत. So कबीर कह रहे हैं बहुत हंस लिए तुम. We meet our friends and we do all the celebrations all around the house and here and there, everywhere. So Tina, you can switch the video off. We'll not be using the video.
Okay,
yeah.
I just need to understand where it is to switch it off. Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time. So कबीर कह रहे हैं बहुत हंस लिए तुम्हारे हंसने वसने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला, वहीं सरफेस पे रहोगे. तुम तो रो. कबीर इज सेइंग तुम तो रोने से करो चित, बिन रोए क्यों पाइए प्रेम प्यारा मीत. Because when we cry in deep pain, only then we get still within the being. Only then the intensity kind of gathers so much, collects itself so much around that it can go within, contemplate, deeply reflect. What is to be done in this life? Why am I born as a human being? Why am I not born as a dog in this life? What is to be done being a human? Is the only purpose to just live happily and do the job that I like? Is that the only purpose in my life? Or maybe something else is to be done. So all these questions they come in front of us only when I see that my ways are not working. When I see that 20 years of my life have passed by and I still have no idea what am I doing on this earth. So this is the beauty of pain. It gives us the intensity to search for something higher than human mortal existence, which I have been living for a long time. जिन खोजा तिन पाइयां गहरे पानी पैठ, मैं बपुरा बूढ़न डरा रहा किनारे बैठ. So when we go within ourselves, when we are able to go deeper using the intensity of the pain, Kabir is saying there is something to be found there. Kabir is saying जिन खोजा तिन पाइया, जिसने खोजना शुरू किया उसने तो पा लिया, हमने तो अभी खोजना शुरू भी नहीं किया. तो पेन बहुत जरूरी है हमारी जिंदगी में, क्योंकि तभी हम खोजना शुरू करते हैं व्हाट एम आई मिसिंग, बिकॉज वी आर मिसिंग समथिंग. जिन खोजा तिन पाइयां गहरे पानी पैठ, 90% of the body is water. Gehre pani pat, in the depths of the being. We have to go, and we cannot go if we are celebrating our frivolities, all the time, the trivia that we indulge into. We cannot do that. So it does not mean that the life is not a celebration. Yes, it is a celebration, but the celebration begins only after I begin to walk on this path. Before that, all is just vahiyat celebration. We all have tasted that. There is no depth in that celebration, right? There is no intensity. There is just frivolity, more of a carelessness, recklessness. मैं बपुरा बूढ़न डरा रहा किनारे बैठ. सो कबीर इज सेइंग, जो डरने से, डूबने से डरता रहा कि क्या होगा जब मैं जाऊंगा अपनी डेप्थ्स में, क्या मिलेगा मुझे, what will I encounter? All this fear around going within ourselves, being alone with ourselves. मैं बपुरा, मैं बेवकूफ बैठा रहा एक किनारे, डूबने से डरता रहा. सो उसको नहीं मिलेगा. जो किनारे पे रहेगा उसको नहीं मिलेगा. ये मिलेगा तो उसको ही जो जाने के लिए तैयार है अंदर, जो अपनी पेन का, अपने दर्द का, अपनी सफरिंग का, one who is ready to use the intensity to dig deeper, to go deeper, not afraid of darkness anymore. So the intensity of aspiration, that willingness to go within the being and find what is there that I am missing, is very, very important. It's crucial. No one can do it for me. I have to dive within my deep, deep, deep ocean depths. I can only, say a few words, or others can say a few words to me. But the dive I have to take. Their depths are different. My depths are different. Although it's one in the essence, but it has to be done independently. And the light is also unique, billions, zillions of people, and the light is unique to each one of them. Right? And then further, just I'll take two more dohas, and then I will go further to Sri Aurobindo and Mother on pain. So Kabir is saying, निज सुख आत्म राम है, दूजा दुख अपार, मनसा वाचा कर्मना, कबीर सुमिरन सार. सो कबीर कह रहे हैं कि जो निज में सुख है, जो अपने में तुम सुख पा लेते हो, निज सुख जो अपनी डेप्थ्स में तुमने पाया है, निज सुख आत्म राम है. वो एक ही हो सकता है अपने आत्मा के साथ टच में आने का आत्म राम, जो हमारे ही अंदर बैठे हैं. दूजा दुख अपार, जब भी हम दूसरे की बात करते हैं, वो दुख ही दुख वहां पे. All our relationships full of misery and pain and suffering. मनसा वाचा कर्मना, कबीर सुमिरन सार. सो कबीर इज सेइंग, क्या तरीका है आगे बढ़ने का? मन में, अपनी थॉट्स में, वाचा अपने स्पीच में, कर्मना अपने एक्शंस में. My thoughts, my feelings and my actions should all be dedicated, sumiran sar, should all be done in a remembrance of the divine. Saying within myself, the divine, I offer this to you. I offer the word to you that I am speaking. I offer my action to you. I offer my intensity to you. All of that has to be offered. Self-giving has to be done. So let us take this question. Beautiful question. Yes, Aradhana ji. Aradhana ji is saying, how is the light unique to each one of us? Light is light, then why it is different? Beautiful question. Yes, Aradhana ji. So all of us have a psychic personality. See, the kind of past lives Aradhana ji has, the kind of experiences that Aradhana has accumulated from the past lives, I have a different set of experiences, right? The kind of unique skills, talents that Aradhana ji is born with, I am born with something really different. Permutation and combination is very unique. So when I get in touch with a deeper light within which shines in all of us. That light has a little bit of a curtain in front of it, which is called the psychic being. Psychic being is nothing but an accumulation of all the beautiful experiences, the progressive experiences of a soul's journey. That is psychic being. Now, when this light passes through the psychic, imagine there is a curtain which has a very delicate design on the curtain, very, very delicate curtain. Now, each curtain has a very delicate, different design. The holes are different, the patterns are different. And when the light shines through this curtain, it gives a unique shadow in front. That shadow is unique to each one of us. So when we say that the light is one because it is coming from the divine. Yes, in a sense it is one. But the manifestation of that light is unique. For example, if I get in touch with my light, I may sing, right? But that would be not a common thing. Not everyone who is getting in touch with his light may begin to sing. Someone may become a beautiful carpenter. Someone may, begin to draw. I'm just giving very, little examples. There is much more to it. So in that way, owing to my past experiences, the past progressions in past lives, it's a different and unique set of, experiences. So it manifests in a different way, and that is why we say that each one of us are special. All of you today attending, all of you have a different set of light that needs to manifest itself through a different pattern, and that pattern is unique to each one of us. But each pattern, the common quality in this, the shining of light, is that there is a purity about it. It's not mixed with emotions of ordinary consciousness. That is the purity that is common to that light. So the purity is common, but the manifestation is different. Yeah. Now I'll take a beautiful one, another one from Kabir. Sara sura bahu mile, घायल मिले ना कोई, घायल को घायल मिले तो राम भक्ति दृढ़ होए. How beautiful. So here, those of us who realize the importance of these blows and slaps in life, those of us who have been wounded again and again, and they go happily through our wounds, they are very, very glad and in deep gratitude that I have been given these slaps to wake myself up. Those, because they are getting now deeper in touch, those people who have been really in gratitude taking all the slaps from the life. Now when they meet, घायल से घायल मिले तो राम भक्ति दृढ़ होए, तो तब लगता है कि ये मजा है, जिंदगी में ये मजा है. खूब खाओ थप्पड़, खूब अपनी तुड़वाओ, पीठ, पैर, टांग, जो तुड़वाना है तुड़वाओ, और तब मजा आता है जीने का. It's not that I am wanting pain, not at all. It's saying that whatever pain is there in the life, take it in full grace, take it in your stride. Break all that needs to be broken down. Because all that is weak must be broken down. It must be shattered. Only the weak can be shattered. So मुझे पता लगेगा मेरी strength कहाँ पे है, weakness कहाँ पे है. बहुत बढ़िया है टूट रही है हड्डी, तो हड्डी में धीरे धीरे strength आ रही है अगर टूट रही है तो. So not a morbid kind of attitude that I'm asking pain, but I know the importance of wounds in my life because they have opened me up to a unique light which I was escaping all these years. So जब घायल से घायल मिलता है तब राम भक्ति दृढ़ होती है, तब मजा आता है इस पथ पे चलने का कि वाह क्या क्या जिंदगी है, तब मजा आता है. Yeah. So just taking the last one from Kabir. सुमिरन से सुख होत है, सुमिरन से दुख जाए, कहे कबीर सुमिरन किए, साईं भीतर समाए. So importance of remembrance, in alleviating pain. So Kabir is saying, देखो सुख कहाँ पे आता है, ट्रू सुख कहाँ पे आएगा, where Sumiran is there. Now, what is happening when I am remembering the divine all the time, trying to focus within the heart or whatever on a name maybe? I am kind of neglecting and ignoring the importance of ego. I am not going by my likings, dislikings, preferences, all these my comfort zones. Not at all. Not going there. I am not fueling my ego. I am just constantly remembering, chanting as if there is a parallel consciousness who is forever anchored in the divine essence and going through all the life challenges. So सुमिरन है जिससे दुख जा सकता है, और दुख का पर्पस ही ये है कि हमें सुमिरन में बांध दे, सुमिरन में हमें साध दे. कहते हैं ना साधक. कौन होता है साधक? साधक वो है जो अब सुमिरन में सध गया. I am anchored, rooted deeply in the parallel consciousness within my being, in an inner poise which always keeps on chanting parallelly and offers all that it does to the divine. Right? So the purpose of, okay, yes, so Ruchika is asking, are these expectations ego for us? So Ruchika, all the expectations are originating nowhere but from the ego. So if my expectations are not met, if people are not fulfilling my expectations, if I am getting slaps and blows in my life, it is beautiful, because then I am not fueling my ego. My ego is, getting down on knees again and again. So if I consciously, if I become aware of any expectation rising in me, I can immediately put it down. I don't have to fuel it, because that is not the way to go. So expectations, when we try to fulfill our expectations from outer world, it is just fueling the ego, nothing else. So it's good that I am getting pain by my expectations not being met by people or situations or life in general. Okay, so anything until this point, any question, please feel free to either unmute and share your question or type in the chat window and share. And then in 1 minute, after a minute of a pause, we can go ahead. So I'm assuming there is no comment or question as of now. You can type any time in between whenever you feel like asking something or clarifying or want to share. Most welcome. Yeah. So I'll begin to share a few words of Sri Aurobindo and the mother on pain and sorrow. So mother says, do not take the sorrows of life for what they seem to be. They are in truth a way to greater achievements. So we must not be going on the face value of whatever physical pain or emotional pain I may have to go through. Do not take the sorrows of life for what they seem to be. They may seem very, really that it should not have happened, because in society it is not considered as something good. But don't go there. Don't make mental conclusions, mental opinions about it. They are in a truth way to greater achievements. The greater achievements of progressing within the being, uniting with the essence within. The greatest achievement that awaits us, in this life. And then mother shares a beautiful way, how to suffer. Mother shares on knowing how to suffer. How we don't even know how to suffer well. अभी तो हम बोलते हैं हमारी लाइफ में बहुत suffering है. We don't even know how to suffer. So let us see what mother has to say. If any time a deep sorrow, a searing doubt, intense pain overwhelms you and drives you to despair, there is an infallible way to regain calm and peace. In the depths of our being, there shines a light whose brilliance is equaled only by its purity. A light a living and conscious portion of a universal Godhead who animates and nourishes and illumines matter. A powerful and unfailing guide for those who are willing to heed his law, जो सुनने के लिए उसे तैयार हैं. A helper full of solace and loving forbearance towards all who aspire to see and hear and obey him. No sincere and lasting aspiration towards him can be in vain. No strong and respectful trust can be disappointed, and no expectation can ever be deceived. So this is, if I can say, the secret of pain, unmasked. We have to get in touch with this light that shines, a pure light, a living and conscious portion of universal Godhead. A conscious portion, which responds to your call. It's not that there is something which is inanimate and which does not know what you are going through. It can respond, it can give you ideas, it can talk to you. But the voice is not as loud as a voice of ego. It's not a loud and assertive voice, and that's the reason we keep on missing it most of the times in our lives. It's not a loud voice. It has to be found in the depths, in the silences of our being. And that's why the importance of aloneness comes in the picture. Okay, so Preeti is sharing something. Preeti is sharing, when we start getting detached, actually going inward, people around us start feeling we are becoming indifferent or self-centered. Very well, yes, Preeti, they can feel so. But then I have to decide whether this has to be in my life. I have to go within, because this is what I choose for my life, no matter how much of resistance I may face from people around me. So this is my choice each moment. In one moment I may choose, okay, I need to see approval on this face and I don't want to go within. In one moment I may choose that, yes. But in another moment it may become a priority. And I will say, no matter how many sad faces I may see around myself, this is important for me and I want to do this with my life. So this is the free will that has been given to us. And we have to use the free will. If it is important for you, you will do it. If it is not yet important, if the smiles on other people's faces are more important for you, then, you decide, you choose. So it's totally up to all of us. If I am ready to bear the brunt of those faces, and even then go in the search of the light, no one can stop me. No one can stop me. Because I realize its importance. And if those faces are able to stop me, it just means that for now I have not fully realized that the importance of finding this light in my life. And that's why people become more important then. And it's only a phase where, we see sadness on these faces. Ultimately, they have to shine, because if one smells a flower, it is not possible that they say it's a bad smell. A flower is full of fragrance. So we are on this journey of becoming a flower, and for some time we have to face that. It's okay. Yes. So Ruchika is asking, but कभी कभी चूज नहीं हो पाता कि हम खुश हो जाएं. सैड फेसेस को देखकर एक बार हम भी सैड हो जाते हैं. हाउ टू डील विद दिस? रुचिका जी, हो जाओ 1 मिनट के लिए सैड, बट फिर वापस अंदर जाओ, फिर काम पे लग जाओ. दिस इज द वे, because only you realize how, what kind of importance it carries in your life. And the sad faces around me can just become an excuse कि मेरा अभी full conviction खुद ही नहीं है. I don't even want to go within myself, and I am using these people as an excuse कि वो मुझे नहीं जाने दे रहा, वो मुझे नहीं जाने दे रहा. So the conviction has to be mine. If I am feeling a lot of pressure in my stomach of going and attending a nature's call, I have to go to the washroom. No one on earth can save me from not going into the washroom, right? But if the pressure is not complete, then I can use hundreds excuses, he's not letting me go, he's asking me to sit and talk with him, oh, I want to go to the washroom, he's not letting me go, all these kind of things. So these are nothing but excuses. The simple and honest thing is that I myself am not convinced that this is the right way to go. This is the simple and honest thing. Once I am convinced, I am actually like a rocket. No one can stop me. Yeah. So please keep typing. I'll be taking up comments. Suffering is not something inevitable or even desirable. So mother is saying it's not that suffering has to be there and we should call on for suffering, please भगवान दुख दे दे, life में ऐसा नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. But when it comes to us, suffering and pain, how helpful it can be. Now mother shares what is the help that it is there to give. Each time we feel that our heart is breaking, a deeper door opens within us, revealing new horizons, ever richer and in hidden treasures, whose golden influx brings once more a new and intenser life to the organism on the brink of destruction. Now, this people who have gone through such a heartbreaking pain, whether of an emotional sort or a physical sort, connect with this. Practical experience is very, very important. Otherwise, this is all theory. Connect with this, A deeper door opens within us, revealing new horizons. As if I am born anew, I am born afresh after a deep pain in my life. Ever richer in hidden treasures. ऐसा treasure जो खत्म ही नहीं होता. Ever richer. एक पेन आई, एक डोर खोल गई. एक और पेन आई, एक और खोल गई. Whose golden influx brings once more a new and intenser life. It gives more intensity to life. Because the more I get deeply in touch with this light within, the divine essence within, it is not possible that my life is dull and monotone. It is not possible. You would have so much of intensity, to move mountains. What to do with all that energy, So much of energy, as if the battery is charged all the time. Because it is directly connected to the divine battery. And when by these successive descents, so क्या कर रहे हैं हम? एक एक पेन हमारे लिए अंदर की तरफ एक दरवाजा खोल रहा है. And each time we are going deeper and deeper and deeper. So these are successive descents. एक के बाद एक steps उतर रहे हैं हम नीचे अपने being के अंदर. And when by these successive descents, we reach the veil that reveals thee, means the divine, as it is lifted. O Lord, who can describe the intensity of life that penetrates the whole being, the radiance of the light that floods it, the sublimity of the love that transforms the being forever. एक step of pain and suffering which we choose to go deeper within ourselves unmasks a new beauty, an adventure which is a never-ending adventure. Now I have something to look forward into this life, Earlier my life was a monotone. I was struggling what to do with my life. Each pain has given me that intensity to fall in love all over again, every day of my life. Now it does not matter how many days I may live. Each day is eternity. So I'll take up this question from Birenji. What can one do to use one's pain to find one's purpose in life? Yes, Birenji, our purpose first of all in life is to get in touch with the light within. Do all that which you feel is helping you towards that descent within. You know what helps you. You know what scatters you. We all know that. I know what scatters me. I know what helps me to go within. So go with that knowing. Get in touch with the light. Only that light can guide you the purpose in this life. So first purpose in this life is to get united with that light that waits for us, in the being. That is the biggest purpose. Because only after we are united with that light within ourselves can the purpose come in front of me. Otherwise, no purpose will come in front of me. I can keep on banging my head on this wall. What to do with my life, what to do with my life, right? So the only purpose, if I can say right now, for us on this path is to get in touch with the light within for sure. That, and then it organically guides you in life. It has the power, it has the intensity to tell you what to do with your life. So if you're asking the purpose in life, the first purpose is to find your inner presence, to get united with the inner divine, to find your light within. And we all know what helps us in, towards that path. All of us know that. So choose only those things in life at the moment which take you deeper within your being. Spend more and more time. Do each work in your life as an offering to the divine. The divine or the God, भगवान ये तेरे लिए, ये आज का खाना तेरे को समर्पित, आज के वर्ड्स तेरे को समर्पित, ये आज दोस्त से मिलने जा रहा हूं, ये भी तेरे को समर्पित. So remembering the divinity, remembering God most of the times as much as I can, and offering myself to the divinity, offering myself. हमने अपने आप को ना बचा के बहुत रखा है. देखो अभी तक बचा रहे हैं, कभी वायरस से बचा रहे हैं, कभी किस से बचा रहे हैं, कुछ ना कुछ बचा के रखना किसके लिए है? करेंगे क्या ऐसी जिंदगी का जो भगवान को समर्पित ना हो? What a waste of a life. कितना बचाएंगे इस जिंदगी को और बचाएंगे किसके लिए? So offer yourself to the divine, offer your services. First of all, do a mental surrender. Mentally, in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your emotions, keep on chanting, I give myself to you, I give myself to you. Do what you want to do with my life. This life is offered to you. Show me the path. So all these prayers are very important. They have to go on continuously within our being as a chanting goes on. Never ending chanting. अगर मैं वायरस से बच भी गई, इमेजिन करो, अरे किसके लिए? A life which is eating me up. Why to save that life? Right? So this is what surrender is. Surrender is a self-giving. Now I don't want anything from this life. I want that this life must belong to you. You make the best use of it, because I don't know how to use it well. Right? So that is the way of surrendering, self-giving, offering oneself. Like a flower offers itself to the earth. When it blooms, it offers itself. Anyone can take it away. A fruit, when it ripens, it offers itself to the earth. It falls. That is what the ego should do. When ego is ripe enough, mature enough, it has realized the futility of the efforts of the ego all these years. It gives itself away to the divine. Right? And then pain and grief and sorrow, they all lose their importance to be in this life, because they have done the purpose. Now, thoda bahut physical pain, then we all can go through that. But this suffering, this mental torture that we go through, emotional pain, that loses its importance. Because then there is so much of understanding that dawns in me that, hey, I can go through anything. If God wants me to go through this, I will go through that. उसमें भी कुछ राज छुपा होगा, कुछ नया निकल के आएगा. अच्छा आज ये करवाना है, आज ये करवा ले, कोई बात नहीं, दर्द हो रही है तो. That kind of a self giving, right? Yeah. Okay. So here mother shares that the very nature of the soul, the very nature of the inner light, the inner presence, the divine presence, which we call as soul, the very nature of the soul is divine delight, unvarying, unconditioned joy. That is the very nature of the soul. But instead of shunning suffering, when it comes to us as a gift, then what we do, we use that suffering in order to find this unvarying, unconditioned delight that hides within us. Yes, Nandini. Yeah. So when suffering comes in my being, what do? I take it with an aspiration that, okay, let's see what I have to find through it. Let's see what is the adventure that the God wants to send me towards. Go in faith and plunge into that adventure. And then we go more deeply into contentment rather than satisfying ourselves through superficial joys and pleasures of life. Then we really kind of can plunge into a deep contentment of the being because of the unification with this light within ourselves, because of the unification of ourselves with the divine essence. Now the divine essence lives through me. The ego is not living life. Now the ego has surrendered itself to the feet of the Lord within. And now the necessity of pain, suffering goes away. Why would I be suffering now? Right? Yeah. So the secret that pain hints us towards, this is what mother shares with us. The secret is to emerge from the ego, get out of its prison, unite ourselves with the divine, merge into him, not to allow anything to separate us from him. Then once one has discovered this secret and realizes this in one's being, pain loses its justification and suffering disappears. So those of us who want to end their own suffering, who want to end their own emotional and physical pain, break apart the ego, let go of the cage of the ego, surrender to your own divine essence. It is an all-powerful remedy. Mother says it's an all-powerful remedy, not only in the deeper parts of the being, in the soul, but also in the body. So the illnesses that, we are most of the time, we are suffering from one or the other illness. If the ego surrenders, if the cage is now broken in mental, in feelings, in thoughts, I offer myself to the divine. Do what you want me to do in this life, do that with me. Then even in the body, that light has the capacity to shine. There is no need for even physical pain then. The physical pain has the power to go away, to disappear, if I unite even in my cells of the body to the divine. And this is not a theory, my friends, this is a possibility in front of all of us. Mother is saying that there is no illness, no disorder which can resist the discovery of this secret. So if the light of my soul shines through my being, if I let the ego go now, if I put that light in the cells of my being, in the higher parts of my being, everywhere, minds, thoughts, feelings, body, cells, then no disease can stay in my body. No disease can stay. And there's something really beautiful which mother says. I'll come also to a practice of invoking calm and peace in the body. So mother is saying that we human beings are too fragile, we keep ourselves too coddled up and pampered. Ye dard nahi sehna, wo dard nahi sehna. So mother is saying that even doctors have said that if we really can avoid getting completely upset as soon as we have pain somewhere, if we are allowing the body to bear that pain, to tolerate that pain, then we see that the body has much more of a strength to bear pain than we usually know. We are not as fragile as we think ourselves to be. Right? So it has to be trained, the body has to be trained to endure pain. And then something really marvelous happens through that. Yeah. And then mother talks about the importance of calm and peace in the body. So when we are teaching the body to endure pain, obviously we will have to invoke a lot of calm in the body. We'll have to invoke a lot of peace in the body. We will have to remain still for a long time, so that stillness is like a sponge. That stillness, imagine that the stillness is there in the body and it's acting like a sponge, absorbing all the pain that one has to go through. So the more I invoke peace and stillness, the more my capacity to endure pain increases. And then pain takes me to another thing. It works as a portal, like a tunnel. It takes me to my deeper depths, which are waiting there for me. Taru, you were typing something. Could you just share? I saw you typing earlier as well. Would you like to unmute and share?
That was for some response or something, but you already covered that. Thank you.
Okay. So mother is saying also how our emotions, our feelings, they come and poke into. Now look at animals. For example, a dog has to go through a disease. Nowadays many pet dogs are there who have to go through really difficult diseases, diabetes, for example, cancers, all of all kinds. If we see how animals go through diseases, I think there's something really we can learn from them. An animal does not interfere with emotions and thoughts. Oh my God, what will happen in the future? Oh my God, I'm suffering so much. All these kind of, the emotions of the vital, the emotional kind of atyachar that we do, with ourselves when we are going through pain and suffering owing to an illness. So mother is saying that when this ordinary human emotions poke into that, when we are going through a pain, then it becomes a mixture and it's very hard for us as a human being to go through that pain. So mother is saying, do not give much attention to those emotions and feelings and thoughts of past and future, all the anxieties and worries. Just go through pain, just like an animal goes through pain, right? So if an animal can go through pain in full surrender and faith, human beings are considered even more intelligent, right? Why can't we go through pain? And then slowly what we do is we increase our endurance. Just like when we are doing gymnastics, when we are doing this muscle training, what do? Whenever we stretch a new muscle, there is a pain that happens in the body. And then after a few days, it's better. Then I am able to carry more weights. Then I am increasing the load. The first day I increase the load, I again feel a lot of pain. But then it is a good kind of a pain. It is auspicious. Why is it auspicious? Because I am learning how to endure more. And slowly I am increasing my strength. And this exactly must happen in our human lives also. Enduring the pain as much as is given, taking it as a prasad, asking the divine to show us the path and get the exact learning out of it. What is the learning that pain has to give me? And the learning, as we already discovered, it's to go within the depths of the being, unite with the light within, the sole purpose of human existence. And that is only the first step. Uniting with the light within is the first step. It's not the last step कि मैंने कर लिया, मैं जा रही हूं अब, और नहीं जीना. उसके बाद तो असली जिंदगी शुरू होती है. अभी तक तो टाइम पास हो रहा है. Right? The real light has to shine through all of us. So the unification with the soul within, the light within, is the very reason for which the pain exists. The pain intensifies, the pain kind of, all my scattered pieces, they collect themselves when pain happens. I get into a contemplative mood. And now I can go within, dig deeper, unite with that light, go within and within and within. We all have a taste of that. No one of us can say, I don't know what it means. And the last point that I want to cover here is the importance of bringing peace and quiet and stillness in the body. Now, Mother has shared, extensively on the importance of bringing peace in the body, bringing stillness in the body. Because, for example, if I am going through an illness, I see that so many parts in me are so helter-skelter. They are running here and there. The mind is going in the future. Thoughts are again going in the past, sometimes in future. I am anxious what is going to happen to my loved ones after I die. If I am not keeping well, all these thoughts running helter and skelter. So Mother says, very important, very crucial, that I call peace in the being. It's an actual practice which must be done. Whenever you are sitting alone, all by yourself, feel, how does it feel in the body when your body does not move from within? Not even a single cell moves. An immobility in the body. And that peace, if we are able to do that more and more, it actually becomes a sponge. As if now you are placing a sponge in the body. Now what does this sponge do? It takes care of all the restlessness in the body. It absorbs all the restlessness and still is full of peace. It absorbs all the anxieties and worries of past and future, still full of peace. It is a bottomless sponge that you are placing in the body. It absorbs all the energy, enthusiasm, excitement, nervous excitement that one has in the body. It absorbs all that. And when needed, then the energy can spring out of it. So peace is as if like a container, peace is like a container. What is it doing? It's containing the energy, the intensity, the anxiety, the restlessness. Now the being is full of peace. The being itself has become a container. And whatever is necessary will be taken out of that container. So friends, I would like to leave you there with this invocation of peace. And this is actually a very, very intense practice which takes only a few moments, a few conscious aware moments. Whenever we are feeling restless, full of anxiety, full of pain, full of suffering, invoke peace in the body. One can cure headaches with that. One can cure pains in the body with that. One can change and transform life with invocation of peace. It's not just, a two lines which don't have any meaning. So use the intensity of peace, use the intensity of calm and stillness, because it is provided to all of us for something, for a use. It has to be used. Yeah, so I've shared this document with all of you, which contains a few blog writings, a few links. and also a few things from Mother and Sri Aurobindo that I used in today's talk. If you have any questions, you can share now, or whenever you have time, you can get in touch with me, or if you wish to, and have a look at I think all of us are now aware of this website. So those of us who have not been visiting it, they can have a look at the work here. Yeah.
What I was missing all through. By the way, my name is Tina.
Yeah.
And Monica is a very dear friend. And all this while, I've never joined this, which I feel that I was really missing something. And I've really enjoyed today's session. But I have to be frank that I did not understand each one of Kabir's duas.
Yeah.
So even after you explained, not everything was 100% clear.
Yeah.
But I did not think that the very first class, I should start asking too many questions and disturb your whole system. But maybe next time onwards, there'll be many more questions.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I think, Tina, feel free to ask as many questions, because, if you ask a question, it becomes clarified for so many of us. So questions are always welcome. Yeah. Thank you for joining.
But I'm happy, really. Thank you,
So
Monica,
glad to have you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.